Welcome back to Malonze Productions. So this video, I'm going to be discussing the changes to pets for hunters between Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. And as you can see, I am myself a real-life hunter. Real quick before I get started, while some of this information is going to be coming from my own personal memory of Wrath of the Lich King, some of it is also being filled in from a 2008 article by wowwimsy.wordpress.com. So the first change you're going to see with the Wrath of the Lich King hunter pets is that your stable is going to be increased from 3 to 5 slots, which will give you a lot more room to add more pets to your collection. At least one per of the new tanking, DPS, and PvP skill trees that you will now have, such as Tenacity, Cunning, and whatever the other one was, I forgot. But you can at least have one of each type of fighting style, or you can collect all of the Spirit Beasts and have one left over. There no longer is going to be a loyalty system. So the loyalty system is when you first tame a pet, they started off as rebellious, right? And the more you used them or the more you had them out and kept them fed and happy, they eventually grew to, at the most, level 6, which was your best friend. This also included their talent points. So the higher their friendship level, the more, or skill points rather, whatever it was, the more training points you could get for them. That's what it was, training points. So the higher level they were, the more you could train them. As if you had just gotten a brand new pet, they wouldn't be able to be trained because they had no training points. That system is no longer going to be in-game. You will still have to feed your pet, however. But, it's not really that big of an issue if you've already been playing vanilla and TBC, So, you will still have to feed your pet to keep them happy. Something new that's also being added, so, with leveling your pets, normally if you went and got a pet that was lower level than you, they would stay at that level and you would have to train them up with experience, right? Now, if you went and tamed a lower level pet, such as Humar the Pride Lord, let's say you're level 70 right now, if you wanted to tame Humar, who's level 19, he'll automatically be boosted up to level 65. Pets will now be 5 levels under your level when you first tame them, unless, they're already higher than that, and you know more than your level. It will make it so much easier to level up a pet that's brand new to you. On top of that, their leveling experience gain is being increased. So they are going from 10% of your experience gain to 17%. The stat modifiers for each family tree is also being adjusted. You would have to look up each individual family in order to see the different stat changes, because I don't really feel like going through that right now. That'd take me like an hour to go through. But other than that, each family now has its own unique skill. So, if you remember, like, Tenacity, Cunning, as I was saying before, now each family is under one of those 3 choices. As to be expected, there are also going to be new families of pets to tame, such as the worms, which we'll get to pretty soon. You'll also have exotic beasts, so you can be able to tame Chimera and Spirit Beasts, but that's only if you're a Beast Master. Other than that, there are some non-exotic new pets you will be able to tame if you're a survival or marksman. So now I'm going to be going through some of the different pets that you might want to have during your playthrough. Now these are all suggestions, and I will be telling you the pros and cons, well, not really cons, I'll just tell you the pros rather, to having a specific type of pet. Again, this is just a recommendation. It's not really that mandatory because different pets have different unique abilities that are good for one thing or another, which is also a good reason of why your stable slot is now 5, because maybe you want one of each type of pet that could do various different types of things. So let's go ahead and go through that. The first one on our list is going to be the worms. The worms are a new exotic pet, which means you're going to need 51 points in Beast Mastery in order to tame them. The thing about worms is that they can spit acid that will act as a warrior's Sunder armor, making them a very good single mob tank. So they are very good at tanks, but only with single mobs. Something else too is while there are different worms already in vanilla that look, just like worms from Marudon, in Northrend there will be some new Jormungandr style worms, so that adds a new creature basically you can tame under the worm family, and they look very unique. So the gorilla is actually good at being an AoE tank with their Thunderstomp ability, but they don't have as much HP as a bear, but we'll get to that soon. Most of the gorilla models are going to be models that are already existing in the vanilla world, and the Northrend ones are not really that different. The only rare skin that I could find was Ulok, which was a white gorilla. You can find them in Stranglethorn Vale during a repeatable quest line. Let's move on to bears. They're actually very good tanks. They can tank 2 to 3 mobs at a time, and on top of that, they pretty much eat everything, so you can feed them whatever you want, for even conjured food, so feeding them will be no issue whatsoever for the bear. Now, there are not a lot of new skins for the bear, not even in Northrend, so you're going to be restricted to the various skins from the vanilla. Though, if I had to pick, I would say the gray bear looks the coolest, though that's your choice to choose. The turtle is going to be the last tanking pet, though I will have an honorable mention. The turtle now has a shell shield ability, which makes them very good at tanking, though they're more of a single target tank, and they can't really multi-mob tank. They can't AoE tank as much as the bear or even the gorilla can. Though what's funny is they can learn dash, so you can see your turtle run ahead real fast, and it's kind of funny. There are not a lot of rare turtle skins that I could find as of right now during Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I will be showing you some of the various colorations you can get, though nothing really stood out as unique. The honorable mention for the tanking pets is going to be the boars. Boars are more of a DPS pet, though they can be very good tanks as well with their high DPS, and I think they can also Thunderstomp, though I don't really remember as much, but they are a good off tank, just not as good as the bears or gorilla. The next section I'm going to be covering are high DPS pets. So these are going to be mostly for PvE, while we will be covering a little bit of PvP later. The first one is going to be a new type of pet you can tame as of Wrath of the Lich King. It is also an exotic pet, the Devilsaur. So the Devilsaur, as an exotic pet, you're going to need 51 Beastmaster talent points in order to tame them. There are a couple of skins, there's about 4 skins, but one of them is actually more rare, which would be the green one. As of Wrath of the Lich King, there's only one green Devilsaur, and you will find him in Shalazar Basin. You'll see some footage of me now flying over. I actually found him while I was getting footage for this video, surprisingly enough. But yeah, he is in Shalazar Basin. He spawns along the northeastern area. He'll be targeted by hunters for sure. The next one, which is fairly common, is going to be the cats. The cats are pretty much the go-to high DPS pet in Vanilla, TBC, and Wrath of the Lich King. They do a lot of DPS, which is not that bad, and there's a lot of different skins to choose from. But the best thing is that they have a lot of new skins in Wrath of the Lich King. One of them I'll be showing you now, which is a more metallic black leopard with red glowing eyes. That's unique to this expansion. Other than that though, like I was mentioning before with Humar, Humar is no longer going to be the only black lion in the game, as they do add one in Shalazar Basin who's a quest mob, and because he's a quest mob and not really a rare or even an elite, it'll be more likely that you find somebody with a black lion, so the rarity has gone down. Though if I did recommend another one, I would say the blue tiger from Winter Spring is still as valuable, as there's no other blue tiger in the game. So a newly tameable pet that you can now tame as of Wrath of the Lich King, and it is not an exotic pet, so you marksmen out there can tame this one, would be the wasp. The Wasp actually does some pretty good DPS and is an overall good PvE pet. They're also good at PvP too. There's a lot of different colorations of the various wasps. If you had to ask me, I would say go for Black Sting. He's the only red and black one in the game, at least as far as I've seen when it comes to the wasps. So he's going to be a very rare one and not easily seen. Another newly tameable pet tree that you can tame is going to be the moth. These are also not an exotic pet, so all hunters should be able to tame one. Moths actually have high DPS, and not only that, they can self-heal themselves, making them very good for PvE and PvP. They're actually considered one of the higher DPS families, which I have seen them plenty back in the day, so I think there is something to that. While there are a lot of various type of moths, there's some also in Northrend as well as Outland, though there is one rare moth called Aspatha, who is a level 71 in Northrend and is the only white moth. Now we're going to be moving on to the more cunning pets. These are mostly situational, primarily PvP. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is the Chimera. This is an exotic pet and is going to require 51 points in Beast Mastery. There are a lot of different colorations and styles of Chimera, with some even being in Northrend at level 70 if you wanted to tame one right as you get to Northrend. Or you could go to Netherstorm, where there is a rare Chimera that is purple. He's the only one in the game that is purple, named Neuramok. Silithid is a very good pet for PvP. They are another exotic pet, so you are going to have Beast Mastery to have them. There are also not any new skins for them. You're only going to find what was available in vanilla. But they do have abilities that can prevent movement for 4 seconds within a 40-second cooldown. So they are pretty good at PvP. Though they're not that good at DPS, they're just more of an inhibitor of movement. So something I bet you didn't expect was going to be the Spore Bat. So the Spore Bat in TBC was pretty useless, however they've been improved in Wrath of the Lich King. Now they can have a Spore Cloud, which will cause nature damage and reduce armor of your opponents. The next one is going to be the Nether Ray. The Nether Ray not only can do shadow damage, but they can also interrupt spellcasting for 2 seconds, though it is a 40-second cooldown. It's excellent for PvP against casters and healers. And now real quick, while these are not really that good of pets, if you are a collector, I bet the Spirit Beasts have caught your attention. Those are more of collection rare pets for hunters to obtain. They're not really that good in terms of utility though. The first one I'm going to be covering is Gondria. Gondria is a spectral purple tiger that you can find in Zuldrak. The primary locations of Gondria are going to be on the different, left and right sides of the large staircases going up all throughout Zuldrak. So she has many spawn points that you're going to have to check over and over again. But once you have Northrend flying, it shouldn't be as hard to look for her. The next one, which I actually managed to get footage of, is Arcturus, or Arcturus, whatever his name is. He's a spectral bear that you can find in Grizzly Hills. He only has one spawn location, which is just at the bottom of the hill next to the Alliance flight point. You'll see there where I am showing you where he is located. After the bear, you now have a wolf. I unfortunately did not find him, though he also only has one spawn location in the Storm Peaks. But his name is Skull, and he's a blue wolf that crackles in lightning. And the last one, which unfortunately again I was not able to find for this video, he has around 6 to 7 spawn locations all throughout the outer diameter of the Shalazar Basin. The rarest pet of them all is going to be Lokanahak. He is probably the most sought-after pet in all of Wrath of the Lich King. Most hunters are going to be seeking out Lokanahak, so prepare for the challenge of trying to get him after waiting out his spawn time. Though there is one other NPC who has his exact same model, which you will be seeing here, Harkoa, which is one of the Loas in Zuldrak. It is the exact same model, so I can show you that at least. Lokanahak is actually her mate, so, you know, they're gonna look the same, I guess. I don't know. And that's pretty much it for the Wrath of the Lich King hunter pet changes. I gave you a list of the various pets that I'm going to recommend. Again, this is not a set-in-stone guide on you must have this pet. It's just a recommendation for if you don't really know what kind of pet you want. So if you want a pet that has better AoE tanking versus one that has higher DPS, or even one that has spore clouds that stun and slow your enemy. So all of these are good ideas, and I also gave you a... Can I help you? I also let you know about all the different spirit beasts that are going to be in Wrath of the Lich King. I might make more unique videos for those 4 spirit beasts, just because I feel like it. Also, if you haven't already, I posted a video, which you'll see in the link down below, and I'll also put a picture right here or there, wherever, of another video I did a few months back called The Rarest Pet in Wrath of the Lich King. Now, unfortunately, because we're going to be starting on a later patch, we're going to be starting on the 3.3.2 client with, you know, the various patches being added to the Wrath of the Lich King Classic. It means a lot of bugs and hotfixes are already going to be implemented, and this specific pet was hotfixed out. I don't think it was a bug. It may have been, I don't know, but it definitely was hotfixed out halfway through the expansion. So if we're starting on 3.3.2, it means you will not be able to get it in Classic, unfortunately. Though if you are interested in seeing it anyway for educational purposes, please check out that video. It's pretty short, and I do a little bit of voice acting on the side too. So there's that. If you want to see any more... Stop scratching my neck. If you want to see any more videos, I cover private servers of World of Warcraft. I'm going to be doing a little bit of Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I'm going to be trying out Dragonflight. We'll see how that is. Other than that, I also do survival games and survival game coverage. So if you want to see any of that, any updates, guides, I also do lore guides now, which I have a couple of videos on blacksmithing lore. If you're interested in any of that, please subscribe. I now have... Even though I am a small channel, I now have my very own troll who hate watches me and dislikes all of my videos. So if you don't like this video, his one dislike will give me a 100% dislike rate. Please fight back against the troll and like this video. Thank you for watching.